Hello and welcome to another online resources tutorial videos. Today I'm going to give you a little peek and some tips about your account online. So the way to access your account would be by going to the berkslibraries.org website. And whether you are at the main website page for the entire system or on an individual library, you will see my account up here in the right hand corner. When you press My Account, it will lead you to the login page where you will enter your library account number and then a PIN. And the PIN is most likely going to be the last four digits of your phone number. That is by default what it will be, unless you specifically requested a different number. And occasionally you may forget the number that you requested, which is totally fine. You would just have to go in and have them change it at your branch, which is not a big deal. They can't tell you what it is, but they can change it for you. Okay, so when you log on, you're going to come to your page here that's going to have your account information. So you're going to see your name, your barcode, where you're registered at, the date of your registration, all that good stuff. You can also find the items that you have out. Here you can see we have a few different items out. It also says the due date right here and renewals left, as well as the branch that it came from and what format it is. So you can also renew items by clicking here on the box, renew selected items, or you can do renew all items and it will just renew everything that it can. Um, Typically, there are a few renewals. It kind of depends on which branch it's from. Occasionally, the source different. Some branches, such as like RAC, may have different borrowing times. It may also have to do with whether or not somebody else is looking to borrow this and has it on hold. That may limit the amount. And of course, it's going to depend on, what type of material it is. So, books versus the museum pass and that kind of thing. You can also find requests that you have. I'll show you how to make a request, place a request. But this is what it will look like once you have placed it. So you'll see here there you can also check the status, and this is active since today. And it also tells me my hold position. I'm one of one, so nobody else is currently in queue for borrowing this book. So for now it's active. That means I'm in line. I am waiting for the book. Once this changes to shipped, it will, if I was getting it from another branch, that would mean that it's in process, it's in transit from its uh, place of origin to where I'm picking it up. Now, especially right now during COVID times, that could mean it might take about 10 days because we have to ship it, but we also have to quarantine it. So we do appreciate everybody being patient at this time. But yes, once something is shipped, it means it's on its way to the library for you. And then once this status says held, this is when the materials are going to be ready to be picked up at the library. And you'll be notified by email, phone call, or text. Those are settings that are available to you, and you can change them by asking about it at the library. But that's how you'll be notified. And then you will be able to go in and pick up your items, which is always exciting. You can also find in your account if you have any fines and fees. If we did have fines or fees, it would say for what item and how much, and if it was still out, end late. It may not have the final total number of the cost that you would owe, but it would still show up here. Okay. So that's everything basically in my account except for saved searches in my lists. Now, if you want to know more about here under community keyword, community browse, or my lists, I would recommend that you go here to help. This is very great information that's available to you. It can certainly um, provide you with answering any questions you may have. So I'm not going to obviously go into a super in-depth look here. I'm just pointing out a few things for you. But if you want to know more, this would be the place to go. Okay, so let's check out how to do a list and how to search for items. Pretty intuitive here. You're going to see that you have a keyword search. You can search by any field, or you can narrow it down by title, author, subject, so on. And you can also narrow it down if you know for sure that you're looking for a DVD. You can put that in here. And when you do search for something, let's stick with the bird theme, why not? If you do search for something, you might start nice and broad, such as just saying birds. And that's going to come up with 3,462 different options. Obviously, you may need to narrow that down a little bit. So you can find your various ways to narrow your search over here, whether you want to do it by owning libraries. So you want to walk into your library today and get a book about birds. Then I could click on Spring Township Library. Okay, so here's everything that we have. And obviously you can see there's quite a bit of picture books. Maybe I want something as an adult. So let's see if we go to general. Well, I came up with some movies. Here we go. Unknown or not specified. And here I can find backyard guides, a field guide. Awesome. Now let's say that I still want this, but I know that it's there. I don't actually want it right now. So I am going to place the request, but I'm going to make an activation date before my trip that I'm taking in the pretend not pandemic world for 3/15/2020. That's about a week before my, or 2021, sorry, traveling back in time there. That's a week before my trip, so I know I'll have a little time to go in and pick it up, and I can submit the request. So now what will happen is once 3/15 rolls around, it will automatically put this field guide on hold for me. It will activate it on that date. That's actually super useful for me as a homeschool mom because I do lesson planning. So occasionally I use that function that way. The other thing you can do, say you're planning something out like lesson planning or a research project, whatever the case may be, is you can make your search and you can save it in a list, which I'm actually doing in the wrong place. Here we go. Add to list. I'm going to create a new list for birds. And there you have it. Down here, you have save title lists. I have one for tree lessons, one for birds, and you will also be able to view it here under my account for my lists with a little drop down menu. And then once you do want that, you can either alter it by deleting your list, whatever you need to do, however you need to organize it, or you can click on the titles and then place the request when you know you're ready to read it. So there you go. Or maybe you just wanted to make a list and physically go into the library, pick up the items yourself. That would be fine too. So those are just a few little things that I particularly appreciate about using the online catalog with your account. And hopefully you found that useful. Have a wonderful evening.